course of the demo, we'll go over most of the rules of the game of Aetherium. We'll keep it a bit light.
Yep.
And I'll be playing the Axiom, the fascist police state. They believe that there is a boot for every neck, and that law and order exists in the real world because of them, and it will exist in the Aetherium because of them also. And
so I guess to start off with, what is Aetherium?
it's a little bit of a mystery. Ryan likes to write mysteries into his stories, calls it design space, but mankind discovers a malleable dimension. Some people call it a cyberspace, just because of the fact that people use hardware, wetware that they hook up their brains to access the Aetherium.
Okay, so it's some sort of space thing.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Similar to, think people in the pods of the Matrix, that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Plugged into a different reality. But here it's people opt into it, they choose to go in. But within about 100 years of the advent of the Aetherium, by the time we get to the year 2247, about 99% of all trade, commerce, social interaction takes place in Aetherium. And what we have on the board here are the manifestations of people in Aetherium.
Okay.
And in the Aetherium, there's also, just like in the real world, power struggles, political, collective vying for control of certain resources in Aetherium. And in the starter box, we have, the fascist police state versus the anarcho-punk rebels that believe if you build them anything that constrains them, they'll burn it down.
All right.
So the turn order is pretty simple. I'll activate a unit, you'll activate a unit. We'll go like that back and forth until we've ran out of units. Then we'll reset our order and continue towards the objective, or until we've both completed 5 turns.
All right.
When you're activating a unit, you take a look at their card, and you see that there is a large number there. That's their cycle speed value, and that's their action point total. And basically, it's 1 action point to move 1 square, and diagonal counts. That's fine. And you don't have to spend an action point to make an attack. Everybody gets to attack once in their turn. And when you're making an attack, you check the range. The small number down here for the Grenadier's grenade launcher is range 5. And all he would do is roll 3 dice. He's trying to match the 3 symbols on his card. The more symbols he matches, the more damage he does. So with that roll, that's a pretty poor roll. I've only matched 1 of my symbols, so I'll only do 3 damage. Had I also managed to roll that, 4 damage. And that would be 5 damage.
Okay.
Because I matched all 3 of the symbols on my card.
So if you matched 1, you said it's 3 damage.
Yep.
So
and
that...
2 would be 4.
Oh, okay.
And 3 would be 5.
Sorry, got it.
Oh, it's fine. And there's also another symbol that goes around the border of some of the die facings. That is our disruption symbol. It's a cog. And as you see here, he has 2 of them below his weapon. That's his critical effect cost. So had he rolled this, he would have gotten his maximum damage of 5, and he would have triggered his disruption effect, which makes the A9 grenade launcher round fragment when it hits the target, do a lot of area of effect damage. All your opponent does when they get hit is check the bottom of their card on the back to see how their safeguard mitigates the damage. Everybody's safeguard is different. For the most part, it's usually in the mask's case, you transfer the damage to somebody else. Grenadier here, he stuns you, so you roll 1 fewer die on your next attack. And there's no target value to hit, there's no armor value, there's no kind of saving roll. It's a 1-roll system. And then if you took the damage, you would just mark in those boxes on the bottom of your card. For most units, how you allocate the damage doesn't matter, but for subroutines, which is what we call our multiple model programs, you have to shade in a whole area at a time, and once the whole area is filled in, you have to pick up a model from the unit.
Gotcha. All right. So I noticed that you have multiple subroutines or units assigned. I have these 3.
Yep, so you have the mask here, who's your avatar, he's your leader. You have Tov, who's your function, think of them as like an officer. And you have your riot girls here, they're your subroutines.
Okay, so it is all 3 of them.
and they're separated because they are a segmented subroutine. And segmented subroutines, they act individually. They all get to move with their 4 action points. They all get to make an attack, and they track their health separately of one another. So, if I were to do 10 damage to one of these riot girls, you would just still fill in 4 of the boxes and pick her up.
Okay.
But if you were to do 10 damage to my Praetorians, because they're a linked one, I would have to fill in 10 boxes and pick up 2 of the models.
And so how do you know if they're linked or not?
It's on just below the name.
So it says subroutine and segmented 3.
Yep, and these guys
yours
are linked 5.
Gotcha. Okay.
So the objective of this scenario is Avatar assassination. You're trying to kill Lady Mistrona, and I'm trying to kill the mask.
Gotcha.
So we're going to go ahead and order our program activation deck. This is the order in which you want your programs to go. Usually it's nice to maybe, for the mask anyways, he kind of likes to go last so he can see where he can use his special ability on the back of his card that lets him swap places with the friendly model.
Okay. So...
Because I have the opposite over here. I want to go first as Mistrona.
Okay, so the Doppelwalk is what he can do.
Yep,
so
and that costs 4 of his action points.
Okay. And so you said that everyone gets a free attack a turn.
Yep.
So it doesn't cost me an action point.
Yep.
So what else other than movement do I spend my action points on normally?
Capturing objectives.
Okay.
So these structures, and then paying extra costs for entering certain terrain tiles.
Okay.
Like,
okay, I see that there's little like bolts.
So these resistor symbols here,
Resistor symbol.
when you move into a tile with a resistor, you have to spend 1 extra CS.
Okay.
The X you see here is that tile is impassable. You can't enter it, and then the line through the center here that is blocks line of sight. You can't draw line of sight over those squares.
All right, makes sense. It's a vehicle, so.
Yep. So.
All right, and how far can you move when you activate?
Just up to your cycle speed value.
Okay, so each square is okay.
Mm-hmm.
And you can move like through here, right? Well,
nope.
so
You would have to bridge the gap by moving the schemas. We have these RAM counters here.
Okay.
So we're each getting 2 RAM from our structures and 3 RAM from our avatars.
Okay.
So we're each at 5 RAM, and it costs 1 RAM to move a tile 1 space.
All right.
And if you end up in the blue, the quantum noise, bad things can happen to you. So it's usually a good idea to like bridge the gaps and try and get into combat. Spending 1 RAM lets you move it 1 space, and you can move it diagonally just fine. And also, if you spend 3, you can rotate these medium ones.
Okay.
And you can rotate it as many times when you spend that 3. Or for 5, you can rotate these large ones.
Okay.
The only thing is, I can't manipulate the one that you have a structure on, and you can't manipulate the one I have a structure on. So.
All right. Now, can I manipulate any of the segments other than the ones with the structure? So
you can do it to either any of these 3.
Right. Okay.
And I can do it to any of these 3.
Okay. So you can spin it so that I end up closer or farther away,
or I get in your back arc, that kind of stuff.
Spin. All right. So how do you determine who goes first?
We'll roll 3 dice, and we're looking for the most destructive symbols. So you got 2. I've got 2. I did get the most rare symbol, so I'll take the first turn.
All right.
And I'll go ahead and flip up my first card. It is Lady Mistrona. So at the start of her turn, Lady Mistrona gets to jump 3 spaces for free. She'll jump to here. She'll jump to here. And she has 6 cycle speed. And mostly she just buffs people. So she's going to give the Grenadier Royal Executioner, so he's going to do +2 damage by spending 3 of her CS.
Alright.
And with her remaining 3 CS, she's going to give the Praetorians Keymaster, which lets them do the thing she did where she jumps 3.
Interesting. Okay.
And that's all 6 of her CS. She's a very support oriented avatar, and I'll pass it over to you. So you'll flip up your first card.
All right. So real quick, with the ability to do the jump, as you called it, for her move, would that allow her to bridge this gap or no?
Yeah, because it's a materialized effect, and when
Okay.
you materialize, you pretty much pick up the model, and you just place it down somewhere else.
Okay. So
She wouldn't actually have to enter the quantum dice.
right. So wouldn't have to spend to move and stuff like that.
Yep.
All right. So I am going to flip up the Riot Girls.
All right. So the Riot Girls, the way they're going to work is you're going to pick one of the models. You get to move her 4 spaces, and you get to make an attack with her. They have a melee attack, and they have a ranged 4 attack. You can pick one of them to use.
Right. So with that, will that be able to bridge the gap?
Nope.
Attacks?
You're going to have to be able. You can't see over the
Okay,
quantum
so
noise.
I can't actually see.
Mhm.
So if I wanted them to do something attack-wise, I basically have to pay to move this first.
Yep. You could push yours up
So I can do that at basically
anytime during one of your program's activations.
Okay,
Yep.
so I will spend I guess 2, and go down to 3, and move forward to 2.
Yep.
And I will activate this one, and wasn't actually quite what I was thinking. Actually, I was thinking him, but oh well. She will use her highly illegal weapons.
Okay. So range of 4.
So range of 4. I'm rolling the 3 dice.
Yep. You're looking for
So right into there.
looking for a switch, a chip, and a short.
Or she can go. I can move diagonally, right?
Yep.
So we go 1, 2, 3. I just actually have to go 1, right? And then I can see him.
You could have seen him from there. Yeah. You just have to be able to see 2 of their corners from any point on your base.
Okay.
So you can see those 2 corners from where you are.
Okay, he's in range. Yeah?
Yep.
Okay. Alright, so I'm going to shoot him instead.
All right. Good idea. These guys have a very durable safeguard if you're attacking them from the front.
Alright, so
It's going to be...
so I have 1 for the the
disruption effect.
disruption effect. I did get, well, I have 2 out of the 3 symbols I wanted.
Yep.
And they both have disruption effects.
Yep.
I have 1 marked on my card, so that means it'll go off, correct?
If you want, and their disruption effect allows you to reroll the attack if you'd like.
Oh, and so it'll give me a reroll.
Yeah, so right now you're at 3 damage. You can choose to go for broke and try and hit that 5 by rerolling the attack.
Now, will I have to reroll all my dice?
Yep.
Okay. So I think I'll go with just 3 damage.
All right. So I'll mark off 3 on the Grenadier, and we'll trigger his safeguard. So that Riot Girl, the next time she goes, she'll roll 1 fewer die in her attack.
Okay.
And she still has 4 CS she can spend.
Right.
So if you want to move her, you can move her.
Alright, so I go where I wish, costs 1 CS. Until the end of this program's activation, this model ignores the CS penalty for evasive movement and fragmented squares. So these are fragmented squares, right?
Yep.
So I can basically skip over them to go wherever.
Yeah, and evasive movement is if you're adjacent to an enemy model and you go to move, you can spend 1 extra to make that move.
Right. So
you'd ignore that and these resistors until
alright.
the end of your activation.
And can I just move past your models as well?
Yep. If you have you go where you wish active, you don't have to spend the extra 1.
Right. So if I do kick that off, I can move 4, right? Or
So it costs 1 and you'd have 3 left.
oh, so right. So it costs 1, so I have 3 left. I see. And it says until the end. I thought it split. All right, I misread the card.
But also, that second number you have there, your overclock number,
Right.
that is the amount of times you're allowed to spend RAM to buy yourself an extra cycle speed point.
Okay.
So if you could spend 2 RAM and get her up to 6 cycle speed for this turn.
And that actually sounds like a good idea. So I'll go down to 0, I believe.
You go down to 1, so you're at 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So now you have, you're going to use, you go where you wish.
Right.
Alright, so you have 5 left.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Very good. You're setting up the mask play. I like it. And now you get to pick another Riot Girl.
All right. So I will go with this one. She will go, I think, one diagonal.
Yep.
And shoot him. And let's see. All right.
You're shooting the Grenadier?
Yep.
Alright, it's going to be just 1 damage, unfortunately.
Alright.
Almost on a third of his health.
So...
You still have 3 CS you can spend.
Right. I think she'll move up this way.
Yep.
So she
So you can go 1 and then 2, 3. Yep.
Yep. Okay. There we go.
And now you have their Red Riot Girl, your last one.
Alright. She will move 3 this way to shoot him.
Alright. So 3 damage again. You have the option of re-rolling it.
I think I will stay with the 3 damage.
Alright. Grenadier's looking pretty beat up. He only has 6 health left.
Alright. Now, does he only get to activate the safeguard once, or...?
It's whenever he's attacked, yep.
Okay, so
all the
each
Riot
of them
Girls
are
roll.
gonna roll 1 less.
Yep.
Alright.
And so that was...
So she would have 1 left.
You got 1 left,
I
yep.
think I'll just move her up there.
Sounds good. I'll go ahead and flip up my Praetorians.
Alright.
So they'll do their... the way a link unit works is only one of them moves, and then the rest, when that model is done moving, they snap to be adjacent to that model. So I will move them to, I'll just link this guy to here, using the Keymaster, and I'll end my movement there. So now I have to pick up the rest, and they have to be touching him. So I'll leave him there. I'll put this guy here. This guy here. This guy here. And they like to make Phalanx, which is their defensive ability that until the start of their next activation, any enemy that attacks them has to discard 1 success from their profile when they hit.
Okay.
And now this guy is going to punch this Riot Girl. The Riot Girl safeguard is I roll 1 fewer die, but I am behind you, so I'll add in a die.
Alright.
So I'm looking for chips, shorts, and crashes. Just the 1 short, which is 2 damage. So that would be on the, I think the blue Riot Girl.
Okay.
And then we will, I didn't get my disruption, but I do have my coordination effect, which is I can shift you a number of spaces equal to the number of Praetorians adjacent to you. I'm gonna try and get you away from Mistrona. I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
And it's over to you.
Alright. So I flip up my next one, which is Tav.
And this is pretty good for Tav. Tav likes to see programs grouped up because his disruption lights people on fire, and if he rolls more than 1 disruption, he can light adjacent programs to them on fire also.
Okay. So Tav has 5, so this is going to cost him though. That's good. Alright, so that's going to be 2 because it's got the resistor. But I can go that way and it will still be 2. So 3, and then 1, 2. Yep, so he's going to move 1 more. That'll be his 5.
Yep.
And he will go ahead and throw a Molotov. Now you enacted something, right? That with the Praetorians.
Yeah, so the Praetorians, if you after you roll your attack, you have to subtract one of your successes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I'll go ahead and attempt it. All right. So I rolled 2 successes.
You got 2 successes.
There is a disrupt, but will the disrupt, if it's not a success, affect it?
You can still use the disruption. Yep.
Okay.
So you got 2 disruption or 2 successes, which would be 4 damage or 4 damage. I'll have you knock one of them off, so that's 3.
Alright.
So we're marking 3 damage there, and I am now on fire with the Praetorians. Each time they activate, they're going to take some fire damage.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's Tav.
That's Todd. He's done.
The Grenadier doesn't have any juicy targets here. He likes to see people grouped up. He is going to spend 3 ram, go down to 2, and he's going to get this Racker even further away from Mistrona by rotating that tile. And then spend 1, just shift it like so. And then I will go 1, 2, 3, and I will shoot Tav in the back.
Alright.
So I get a 4th die because I'm behind him. Oh, I've only matched 1 symbol, and I didn't get the 2 disruptions I need. I'm not rolling pretty hot today. Tav's disruption is he takes 1 extra damage, so it'll be a total of 4. But he lights me on fire. It's going to be 4 damage to Tav. And so that's it. I've gone through all of my programs. My pad deck is empty. So I would now reorganize it. And I can change the order, which I will. I place it face down. And then I'd reset my RAM. I still had 1 left at the end of all that. I don't get to keep that. I reset it to the number I should be at, which is 5.
Okay.
So
Alright.
we go to 5, and now you activate the mask.
Alright. So the mask activates. So let's see. Double walk costs 4 CS. So if I did that, it's not going to really work out for him. Unless I just stab the Jesus out of some Praetorians. It does move up, but not quite useful enough. So, but I
You
think
do have
he'll
a whopping 6 CS. I mean, you can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
right.
Overclock?
Yeah. Yeah, I think
You wouldn't
so.
get behind her, and he likes being behind people because he gets 2 extra dice instead of just 1. But,
Right.
I mean,
So,
it's not, you just got to weigh the risk of do you want to be next to 5 Praetorians or not?
right. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7.
Sure, yep, with your last ram.
Yep. Spend that ram, and then he will attack.
So Lady Mistrona's disruption is that you just ignore what your profile says. All you're looking for are disruption symbols.
Okay.
Yeah. So the symbols don't matter, you're just looking for disruptions.
Alright. So let's see. What do I get?
That's 1 disruption, so
One
that counts as
disruption.
1 success.
Alright. So.
It's going to be 4 damage. Oh, that hurt. I mean, 1 more good hit against her and she's going down. You now get to recalibrate. So you move your RAM tracker to 5 and you reorder your deck.
Alright.
Alright. So, Lady Mistrona. She'll do her. I might have hurt her here by separating that tile. Alright, she will. She'll come back to here with her free move. she will spend 1 ram. I'll spend 1 ram to bridge the gap. I'll spend 3 of her CS and give them the jump again.
Okay.
And then with my other 3, I'll go 1, 2, 3, and just try and stay alive here.
Alright.
So that's with my 1 ram. And yeah, I think I'll overclock her once to get her even one more. So it's over to you.
Alright. So if I overclock, how much can I overclock? I know he says it has 3 overclocks. I spent 1.
So that number resets every activation. So
okay.
Yeah. Yep. So
okay. So I can give him up to 3 extra.
Yep.
All right. I think that's what I'll do. So 1, 2, 3.
And you don't have to choose to do it now. You can just start. You can start taking his turn.
Oh, sorry.
And then see how you want to do
Right.
it. Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. So I would have had to do that first. So 1, 2, 3, 4.
I think you could actually just stop there, and because you reset it, so the massive coming up next. There is a way for you to get behind her.
Okay.
Because he likes being behind people.
Right.
And it's with the schema manipulation.
With the what?
With the schema, the tile manipulation, you could actually.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you want to spend your RAM on that instead of.
Okay.
Because it's 3 to rotate this one.
So 1, 2, 3. So
Yep.
manipulate that. So then I would turn this like that.
Exactly. There it is.
And then I would step over there. Got it. Okay.
You can still attack her from there if you want.
Okay.
Diagonal's fine. So now you're behind a model as the mask, so you get 5 dice. And you're looking for disruptions, and if you get 2, she will go down. A whopping 4 disruptions,
4.
and you got all the symbols you needed even without the safeguard.
Yep. So
That's 12 damage in 1 hit because you hit your 10,
yep.
and then you got your 2 disruptions.
All right.
So that's the end of Lady Mistrona.
All right.
But
Awesome.
Yeah, as you can see, it takes a bit to get into the mindset of how the tiles actually work. We're using a lot of large tiles for the demo. Normally in a game, there's 7 tiles, of which maybe 4 or 5 are small 5 square tiles that we don't have set up here. So there's a lot more like movement and and Tetrising the tiles to do stuff, and it keeps the game fresh. I should have known. I was kind of thinking like maybe he's going to want to try and get his Riot Girls out to safety or something, but then you went with the mask, and I suffered because of it.
Yeah.
And I think actually going that 1 extra spot helped you.
Actually, yes, because it put you so that when I turned it, I was right there. So
Yeah.
definitely. All right.
So that's what keeps the game different. I mean, it's hard to play the exact same game with Aetherium twice.
Okay. And so I know you said that there's normally about 7 or 8 tiles on the table, which makes the game a lot larger. What's the average play time?
45 minutes to an hour once you get the rules down,
Right.
typically.
How many units do you normally use?
5, so you still have your
Okay.
1 avatar, but
Right.
then you would have 2 functions and 2 subroutines.
Okay.
So in the core box, you get 5 programs for both of these collectives.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
it's Lady Mistrona, the Grenadier, and also the Adept, who is a priest in his robes that is very good at manipulating terrain.
All right.
And then you get the Praetorians, and then the Hounds, Alpha and Omega, that run out and try and gang up on people. And then you would get, as well as what you have here, you would also get the Tinder. He's the flag waver for the Nanomate.
Okay.
And in addition to the Ragnarok, you would get the Picketers. They're the ones with the pickets and the megaphone.
All right.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And
Are
there's
these little train pieces coming in too, or?
you get 1 of those, and you get 4 pylons, 2 for each
Okay.
collective. You get 12 tiles, so you get 2 of the large, 4 of the mediums, and 6 of the small.
Awesome.
You get the full the 30 by 30 rubber mat that we played on.
All right.
and the full color rulebook. I think it's like 108 pages. Comes in there with all of the dice, tokens, and cards you need. Because when we kickstarted it, we hit 150% of our goal, hit a lot of stretch goals, and we made a deal that we were going to apply the stretch goals to the whole order we placed for the games. So all of our games have the Kickstarter stretch goals in them,
Okay.
which is a little bit of a sweet, like a sweet deal we gave for our local retailers here,
Right.
because they said, we asked them before we launched the Kickstarter, what do you guys not like to see in Kickstarters? And they said, we hate exclusives because they make the game look anemic when it shows up on our shelves. But people are like, wait, what about this other stuff? And they're like, well, retailers don't get that. So the only thing that people got for kickstarting that was unique was an alternate sculpt of one of the models.
All right. Excellent. Well, thank you for your time. Thank you for doing the demo. It was fun and enjoyable.
Thank you very much.
All right.